Welcome back, students. Dear friends, in this session, I would like to explain the topic change of entropy in reversible and irreversible process with examples. Let us see the change of entropy in reversible process. How the entropy undergoes changes or not in reversible process and irreversible process. What happens in these two cases? Let me see here. For this one, you should refer PV diagram for a Carnot cycle shown here. Consider a complete reversible Carnot cycle A, B, C, D shown here. A, B, C, D is a complete Carnot cycle. For an ideal gas formed by two isothermals, that is AB, which is at temperature T1, and CD, here lower curve CD, which is at temperature T2, and the two adiabatics BC and DA. Here I repeat, AB is one of isothermal curve which is at temperature T1 or TH. TH stands for thermal, that means heat absorption, or simply say T1. And one more isothermal curve is CD, which is at temperature T2, isothermal temperature T2, and two adiabatics BC and DA. See here, there are four conditions occurs here. One is isothermal expansion, second one is adiabatic expansion, third one is isothermal compression, fourth one is adiabatic compression. Here this one is isothermal expansion, this one is adiabatic expansion, this is isothermal compression, this line DA, the curve DA, adiabatic compression. See one by one. First one is isothermal expansion along AB. Let Q1 be the quantity of heat absorbed by the working substance from A to B, at constant temperature T1. For this one, you just refer this diagram for sake of convenience. Here this is Carnot heat engine. TH or T1 is the temperature of the source. Here TC or T2, which is the temperature of the sink. This is the engine. This is work done by the engine. Let Q1 is the quantity of heat absorbed by the working substance here from A to B at constant temperature T1. Then the increase in entropy of the substance is given by the formula. Here for entropy, ds is equal to Q by T, or integration of ds. Why we have to integrate here? Because there are 4 points A, B, C, D and A up to A. Therefore, between the limits A to B, you have to integrate the entropy, the increase in entropy of the substance, that is equal to plus Q1 by T1. During isothermal expansion, there is increase in entropy, hence it is taken as positive, plus Q1 by T1. In the same way, for second condition, adiabatic expansion, that is along BC. From B to C, along the adiabatic BC, there is no change in entropy. there is no change in entropy of the substance, but temperature falls from T1 to T2 because of expansion, due to expansion. In this case, the change in entropy between the limits B to C, here make it correct, that is B to C, ds is equal to 0 because q by T is equal to 0. There is no change in entropy. Entropy remains constant and hence it is written as 0. Third one is isothermal compression CD. Along the curve CD, you can just refer CD curve. From C to D, along the isothermal CD, the working substance rejects heat Q2 to the sink, which is at the temperature T2. The entropy of the substance decreases and the change in entropy is given by, from C to D, integrate the entropy term ds from C to D is equal to minus Q1 by T1. Because the entropy of the substance decreases, hence it is minus. Fourth one is adiabatic compression dA. From D to A, along the adiabatic dA, there is no change in entropy, but temperature rises from T2 to T1. In this case, the entropy ds between the limits D to A, D and A is equal to 0. Why it is 0? Because the temperature remains constant in this adiabatic compression. Hence, there is no change in entropy, hence it is taken as 0. Thus, the net gain in entropy of the working substance in the whole cycle A, B, C, D, A is given by line integration of the entropy ds is equal to the first one, isothermal compression along the curve AB is this one, A to B ds plus integration of ds from between BC, that means along adiabatic expansion, and third one is between C to D, the entropy ds plus along adiabatic compression from D to A, this one. By substituting all the four quantities for this one, you have to got Q1 by T1 for this one, first one, isothermal compression, entropy increases here, Q1 by T1. The second term, adiabatic compression, adiabatic expansion. During adiabatic expansion, there is no change in entropy, it is taken as 0, hence there is 0. I have not write here. Third one, during adiabatic isothermal compression, the entropy decreases, hence the value is taken as negative, that is minus Q2 by T2. And fourth one, here ds is equal to 0 along dA, hence it is 0. Only the two terms are possible here, that is Q1 by T1 minus Q2 by T2, let it be equation 1. But for a reversible Carnot cycle, Q1 by T1 minus Q2 by T2 is equal to 0, or Q1 by T1 equals Q2 by T2. This is already you know in the previous chapters in the unit 1. Substituting this in equation 1, you substitute equation 2 in equation 1, we get the total entropy is equal to Q1 minus T1, Q1 by T1 minus Q2 by T2 is equal to 0, let it be equation 3. Thus, in a cycle of reversible process, the entropy of the system remains unchanged. That means it remains constant. Entropy always remains constant in reversible process. That is, the total change in entropy is always 0. always 0. This is the case of reversible process. Let us see the examples. First example, the block of ice and water. A block of ice placed in an ice water bath will either thaw a little more or freeze a little more, depending on whether a small amount of heat is added to or subtracted from the system. Depending on whether a small amount of heat is added or subtracted from the system. Such a process is reversible because only an infinitesimal amount of heat is needed to change its direction from progressive freezing to progressive thawing. Let me take second example for compressed gas confined in a cylinder. In the same way, compressed gas confined in a cylinder could either expand freely into the atmosphere if a valve were opened, or it could do useful work by pushing a movable piston against the force needed to confine the gas. The latter process is reversible because only a slight increase in the restraining force would reverse the direction of the process from expansion to compression. For reversible process, the system is in equilibrium with its environment, while for irreversible process, it is not. Just to refer the equation 2. Let us see the change of entropy in irreversible process. Consider an irreversible engine. The working substance absorbs the quantity of heat Q1 at temperature T1 from the source, and it rejects heat Q2 to the sink at temperature T2. Then the efficiency of this cycle is given by, for reversible engine, let me take efficiency is eta dash is equal to Q1 minus Q2 divided by Q1. This is equal to 1 minus Q2 by Q1. But according to Carnot's theorem, the efficiency is less than that of reversible engine working between the same two temperatures T1 and T2, for which efficiency is given by eta equals 1 minus T2 by T1. This is the efficiency of Carnot's reversible heat engine. In the previous equation, we have to see eta dash equals 1 minus T2 by T1. And comparing these two, thus eta dash, efficiency of irreversible heat engine, eta dash is less than the efficiency of reversible engine. On further simplification of these two conditions, here this one is efficiency of the irreversible engine, this is the efficiency of reversible engine. Here according to this condition, eta dash less than eta, therefore 1 minus Q2 by Q1 less than 1 minus T2 by T1. On further simplification, here 1 and 1 get cancelled here, then it becomes Q2 by Q1 less than T2 by T1, or Q2 by T2 greater than Q1 by T1. Here in the above equation, 1 is less than the two physical quantities here, it becomes Q2 by T2, just cross multiply it here, Q2 by T2 is greater than Q1 by T1, or Q2 by T2 minus Q1 by T1, which is greater than 0. Q2 by T2 This is particularly for heat rejection. This term Q1 by T1 is particularly for heat absorption. The total quantity in the LHS side which is greater than 0, it will be equation 1. Let us come to the conclusion. Consider the whole system. The source losses the entropy by an amount Q1 by T1. The source losses, that means negative sign. In the previous equation you had this one minus Q1 by T1. The entropy by an amount, it losses by an amount Q1 by T1, and the sink gains positive sign and entropy Q2 by T2. Here Q2 by T2. This one. This is positive term. This one is negative term. Here, therefore, the net change in entropy for the whole system is Q2 by T2 minus Q1 by T1. This is the net change in entropy for whole system, entire system, which is clearly greater than 0. That is positive. In the previous equation, Q2 by T2 minus Q1 by T1, which is greater than 0. Thus, there is an increase in entropy of the system during an irreversible process. See here, this quantity LHS side Q2 by T2 minus Q1 by T1, which is net change in entropy, which is always greater than 0. Hence, there is an increase in entropy of the system during an irreversible process. For example, consider a natural process of conduction of heat from one end to another end. Let me take one more example. The same ice and ice piece. Just you take a block of ice. A block of ice placed on a hot stove, surely it melts. While the stove grows cooler, such a process is called irreversible because no slight change will cause the melted water to turn back into ice while the stove grows hotter. See here, I repeat, a block of ice placed on a hot stove, surely it melts while the stove grows cooler. Such a process is called irreversible because no slight change will cause the melted water to turn back into ice while the stove grows hotter. That's all. This is about the discussion regarding reversible and irreversible process with examples. Okay, dear students, in the next session we shall discuss about TS diagram and Carnot cycle. Thank you.